Hello, it's Friday afternoon. I'm back for a small segment. Just wanted to kind of piggyback on my last podcast that I did yesterday about the confusion, the confusion factor. I think a lot of full preterists are sort of in denial, in regards to especially historicity. We've talked about different doctrinal issues before, and we've seen how they play out, with the issues of consistency and, trying to be, whether you're a cessationist, partial cessationist, full cessationist, just trying to come to consistent conclusions and be consistent with one's own hermeneutics, how that sometimes leads to I.O. Then we talked about how, full preterists seem to be confused about the distinction between the Adamic age and the Mosaic age. So it's an ongoing discussion. But, the 2,000 years of Christian teaching is just really, to me, that's like one of the most major flaws in their theology, because it totally contradicts what Jesus Christ, what his plan for his church really was, which, to make his church the pillar and ground of the truth, to use his church to, shed light upon all nations. So they say they're in the new heavens and new earth now. And, the new heavens, I would imagine that would be the, Jesus Christ, the Son of Righteousness. Of course, the moon being the reflected light of the sun. That would be the church, right? And then the stars would be, individual Christians. That's usually the typological breakdown. So regardless of, what I'm saying is that they're supposed to be shedding light. They're supposed to be shedding light on the earth, the creation. Creation being, of course, all nations. Cosmos is often used in a sense of, mankind. It doesn't always speak to the physical globe. That's really an inconsistency, because if you look at what the church was ordained to do, to shed light on all nations, and of course Jesus Christ as the Son of Righteousness would be doing that through his gospel, through his teachings, rather than through the teachings of Moses. And then you look at what full and hyper preterists, and I know the same thing, are saying, with their doctrine, having only been around for, a few decades, it's a wonder how they could even, coherently frame any kind of, rationalization of full preterism. How can you say we're in the new heavens and new earth now?
There's no light being shed.
There's no, pure gospel being preached until, say, at the very, very earliest, the 1800s. And, folks like Max King and, those cats, they didn't know anything about Robert Tarley or any of those, those early full preterist teachers.
But, really, really crazy.
How they're, the sort of inconsistency you get not just within the doctrinal perspective, but within the historical perspective as well. Saying we're in the new heavens and new earth, that doesn't mean boo if you're not, if the doctrine doesn't add up with what you're seeing in, 2,000 years of history. On the other hand, we do know that for 2,000 years, Christians have believed in the teachings of Christ, the apostolic doctrine. They've applied it different ways. They've applied it, some denominations apply it differently than others. But the points of agreement are far outweigh any points of disagreement, and it's a cohesion. It's a cohesion among different groups. Where of course now you have false Christianities too. You have false cults and stuff, and that's always been the same. But were never part of true Christianity to begin with. But to say that nobody had it right for 2,000 years is just incredible. I could see with the wheat and the tares, I could see there's going to be tares mixed in with the wheat. There's going to be false doctrine here and there. And to say that everything was false and that you can't find the true doctrine until at least the year 1845, that's just incredible. I still can't understand how they can rationalize that kind of theology. But
again, what do I know? I've only been doing this for 15 years, so
anyhow, I just want to weigh in with that. And I don't know if I'm going to do one of these tomorrow. I'm going to try to, but I do work on weekends. So I work extended shifts on Saturdays and Sundays. So I don't get a whole lot of time. I do have a little bit of downtime where I can do, a brief little podcast. Don't have a whole lot of time, but I'll try to put something together. Until then, just keep sending me your feedback. Thanks again for everyone for stopping by my channel. Hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and talk to you soon.